Hello, everybody. Get a sip of my coffee here. It's morning in this live stream, so I'm still kind of getting myself in that wake up time. Welcome to another Sunday Slow Jam, as I've been calling it. Today we're going to be doing some gentle movement, maybe a little more still. Um, we're going to practice something that I taught in my active virtual classes with some of my private groups that I teach. So today's props, you will need the wall. So set up near a wall space because we're going to be using that quite a bit. 2 good pillows. It doesn't matter what size. I actually have 1 king size and 1 regular size. You can see they're 2 different lengths. And then a couple of blankets, 1 or 2 blankets or large towels, and just whatever's comfortable for you. If you tend to get cold, I highly recommend getting some socks on your feet. Grabbing a couple of extra blankets if you're going to be using some for props, and then maybe 1 for covering up. And then an option to grab a couple of throw pillows that you have on your couch or your bed, just as extra little support system here. So we're going to get started against the wall. So go ahead and scoot yourself against the wall, and you have the option, if you don't want to be against a firm surface, I highly recommend using your pillow as a support for your back so it's soft. And then you have the option here to either sit cross-legged if that's more comfortable for you. Personally, I like to bolster my knees and have my legs straight. So we scoot all the way up against the wall. I'm using my larger king size pillow because then my head's also cushioned. You could roll up a blanket or towel for your head or just fold it so you have cushion there. And then bolstered, and then if you feel like you're cold or want some weight on your arms or legs, I know what body parts we're working with here. Still waking up a little bit. So you can weight your legs with a heavier throw blanket if you wish. So we're just letting the wall support the body and your head. So we're not bringing the chin forward. We're not doing what we normally do on an average day. We are keeping our spine tall. We have our sit bones anchored into the earth. Legs are sinking into the earth. And you can keep your gaze forward at the screen if you wish, or if you feel comfortable shifting your drishti, your gaze down toward your toes or the floor, or closing the eyes, softening the eyelids, and tapping into your breath here. So springtime, at least in Indiana, has fluctuating temperatures and climate. It could feel like summer one day and then winter the next. Sometimes we experience all the seasons in one day. And so that can impact how our body feels. Just checking in. How does your body feel today? How does your breath feel? And because this is prime allergy season, we're going to practice alternate nostril breathing today. And it's a great way to bring balance in both nostrils. You may notice that one side's more clogged over the other, and that can be stimulating a more activating side. So your right side tends to be solar, active, energizing side, and your left is more lunar, grounding, centering, chill side. So you can test it out by just plugging one side if you want. My left side's more open, which I do feel pretty calm today. And what we're going to do is with your right hand, we're going to rest the ring finger on the left nostril and your thumb on the right. We're not closing the nose at all right now, and either resting your peace fingers between your eyebrows or tucking them in. And then you're tucking your pinky in toward your palm. And we're going to begin with just acclimating ourselves to a hand in front of face. Take a few rounds of breath through both nostrils. Your left hand you can rest in your lap, palm face up. And since it's still morning, the rule of thumb is beginning on the left side in the morning. And if you practice at night, we start on the right side. So let's close the right nostril and breathe in through the left. Close the left nostril, breathe out the right. Inhale, right side. Exhale, left side. Inhale, left. Exhale, right. Inhale, right. Exhale, left. And we'll continue this breath flow. If you feel overwhelmed or clogged, take a break. Finish the round you're on. So you'll be exhaling out the left nostril. And we'll release the right hand into the lap, palm face up. And just notice how your energy level feels here. Maybe you feel more balanced or centered. Both channels open, both nostrils. And so the rule of thumb of the starting on the left side is it's lunar, so we can balance the daytime with the night moon and vice versa. That was a fun rule of thumb to create some balance and harmony in our bodies. So as you find a balanced breath in the channels here through the nostrils, breathing into the lower belly, maybe down into the pelvic floor, down into the legs. As we breathe out, we're just drawing everything back up and out. So we're actually going to get to a peak posture today, but in a restorative way. I think I mentioned it at the beginning. We're going to open up the sides and really get length through the whole body. It's almost as if somebody's pulling our legs and our head and arms in opposite directions, creating balance in the center. And so our mantra for today is joyful. And it's very subtle. It's not loud. It's not exuberant. It's can be experienced in that way occasionally, but more often than not, it's quiet. the simple essence that we feel. We might feel it when we go out in nature, when we hear the birds singing, when we experience a delicious meal. Maybe even in this moment, we can experience joy for the act of self care and loving ourselves. So we're going to keep this tall spine. You can move your pillow behind you if you wish. I'm going to turn mine sideways. And we're going to fold over the legs. So if your legs are crossed, extend the legs out. I'm keeping my bolster under my pillow under my legs. And I'm going to work on my back. So keeping a tall spine, then tucking chin to chest. Letting your arms just be soft. So my arms aren't really straight. My elbows are bent. And I'm not working on touching my toes. I'm working on stretching the back side of my body. So as we lower chin to chest, go slow. And let your breath flow all the way through, filling belly all the way down into the feet, but also filling the heart space between the shoulder blades. Breath out, we're allowing this energy to flow out, but we're softening over the legs a little bit more. We're not pushing, we're not striving in any way. And if you feel a pillow under your knees is too much and you want to have a deeper stretch, please, by all means, modify for yourself by taking it out. Think about maintaining that length in the spine and the legs. And finding balance and harmony with your breath in the torso. And it's through this breath that we can tap into that subtle wave of joy that's constantly moving through the body and through our being. Take a few more rounds of breath here. We can roll up nice and slow. Tall spine. Just bring the arms out to the sides. If you need support, you can take a pillow or your blanket or a book or a block under your hands. I like to rest my fingertips on the floor. And I'm going to scoot myself a little closer to the wall. I'm going to tilt ear to shoulder. Option to take your hand and rest it on the head if you feel that's necessary, if you feel like that's too much. Just keep your hands resting. And I have our arms extended out so we can intensify that stretch into the neck and the shoulder, the arm. If you feel like that's too much, soften your elbows. And we breathe. We'll roll chin to chest over to the other side, very slow. And at any time, if you feel this rush of overwhelm, like I just felt that wave in through the nose, soft face as you exhale through the mouth. Just kind of remind your nervous system that you are safe. And sometimes it's just that overwhelm of how we're feeling in our bodies. Pull over chin to chest. Just take a pause here. Breathe into the space between the shoulder blades. We'll come back to a neutral spine. And we're going to take the heels wide. I'm going to take this pillow out from behind me, but we're going to use the wall as a kind of a structure to keep our spine upright. I really like to use the wall for tools, like what we're going to do today. So, first thing is heels wide. If you have tender knees or tight hamstrings, you have this option of using your pillows and or blanket under your knees, so there's a little bend here. So if you don't feel like you need that, don't use them. It's not required for everybody, but that's an option if you are experiencing that tension in your legs in any way. Just keep my blanket nearby. And so what we're going to do is we're going to lean to one side. And I lost my wall here. So I'm going to keep my back against the wall and just lean. So my heart is staying open. Often what happens is we start to turn rather than keeping the side body open. And so you can rest your hand on your leg on the floor. Use your pillow if you needed a little extra lift. And then I'm going to keep my arm on the wall. Be mindful if you have artwork, of course. We're going to go to the side. If this is too much for your shoulder, there's always the option of reaching through your elbow, hand behind your head or your neck. And if that's still too much, you could always take the back of your hand to your low back. You can still get that side body opening. So we're anchoring through the opposite hip that you're leaning away from. And we're trying to find length from the heel all the way through your extended arm, your elbow, or at least your armpit. So allowing the breath to fill all the way down through, keeping that openness, noticing if you're trying to squeeze anywhere or make something else activate. Let your breath fill the side body. And if you feel that's too difficult, maybe come back a little bit so you can breathe into the side. Now we're going to take the top arm down. We're going to lift the torso and then fold over that leg. Again, if you're feeling too much in the hamstring or hip, tuck a blanket, rolled, or a pillow under your knee. Option to go chin to chest just to stretch the back side of the body out and keep anchoring through the opposite hip. Notice if you lose your breath. Can you come back to breathing into the belly, down into the sides, the leg? Not forcing an end result. We're staying in the moment of how does my body feel right now? Can I breathe fully? Can I surrender to the posture? Keep softening anything that wants to get involved or clench up. Hips, maybe the back of the leg, the quad. Creating room for joy to be felt. So when we seize up like this, we're kind of blocking, we're on guard all the time. So can we open up and welcome in joy no matter the moment? Come back up. Neutral spine. Let's take a moment to breathe. Let the wall support you for a moment. And then we'll start that lean to the other side. Again, variations with your arms. You can always take to the back of the head. You can always take your hand to the back. Just notice if there's any force coming behind this. We stay open and breathe fully. And we get breath into the side body. And are you trying to force yourself to be against the wall? Like my arm can't go back that far. So I'm not going to force it. And remembering that you don't have to go as far as I am. We're all in our own experiences, our own bodies. And we all have our own abilities and limitations. We'll take this top arm and rest, lifting the torso, finding length with the anchor, and fold. And checking in, where are other areas of the body starting to squeeze or trying to get involved? Can you stay open and anchored and keep the opposite leg soft? Get grounded. Roll up nice and slow back to neutral. Breathe into your spaces. we're gonna fold to the middle. So if you need a little lift under the hips to tilt your hips forward, you can use a blanket or a pillow. If you need your pillows for support to rest on, you can always stack them however you need. If you don't need them at all, you don't have to have them. And if you're wanting to work on the back more, roll up a blanket or a pillow of some sort for your forehead. Just so that you have a space to breathe is essentially what that's for. Otherwise, you can turn your cheek to one side or the other if you want to stretch the neck. And this might be you're upright and just leaning forward. You can roll pillows. This is the beautiful thing about pillows and not bolsters. You can engineer quite a bit. And just make those modifications for where your body is today. Being mindful if you feel you're a little too far as you start to sink in, it's okay to come back. You're not permanently stuck in the posture, unless you really feel stuck. But you aren't stuck there. You have a choice to come out of it or go farther into. You're probably seeing me here making adjustments for me. I went on a hike yesterday, so my legs are a little tight. It was quite a steep terrain. And, just trying to be kind to what activities I did yesterday. So please honor yourself where you are. Bring your cheek to the other side if you are opting for that resting position. And if you're feeling as if you need to move out a little bit, that's okay. You don't have to go farther. You can come out of. This is all about honoring your space. Sometimes as we sink in, we can get that overwhelming feeling that I've gone too far. And that's okay. That awareness is part of yoga practice. Slowly roll up. Come back to that neutral spine. If you need to lean against the wall just for a moment to be supported and feel. And we're going to move to the back. So we're going to lay on the floor. We're going to be doing some potential leg extensions. So make sure you're not too close to the wall if you're wanting to extend your legs out. Just being mindful of your space. As always. So we're going to come to the back. Let's hug the knees in for a moment. If you need the curl up, if you need a nice little bear hug, chin toward or nose toward the knee. And then we're going to extend long. I didn't get my pillows out of the way enough. So we extend the legs and the arms long. A reclined mountain pose, Suddhitadasana. And then let's hug one knee into the chest. Doesn't matter which. If you have room for half happy baby, we can grab the foot. If you want that extra extension, you could always take your free arm in line with your extended leg and just find that length. We'll extend the leg to the sky. And remembering that it doesn't have to be at a right angle perfectly. You may be a little bit more forward or more back. So we'll pull the toes back, pushing through the heel. So we're getting a little bit more into the lower leg. And we're going to open the leg out to the side. So I'm too close to my wall, but if you need, you could bend your knee kind of in a more reclined cobblers type way, or like a half sun goddess kind of way. You could tuck a blanket underneath your knee or pillow. So however you would like to work with this leg. If you're close to the wall, I'm pushing my foot into the wall. You can do that as well. You can even extend arm out to T, both arms out to a T if you want. And just feeling into your spaces. Where are you tensing? Remember, you don't have to touch your toes. You could just hold on to the lower leg. You could have a kickstand going on with your elbow and holding on to your leg. You can also support yourself with pillows, blankets, whatever you need. Bring your leg back, extend. We're going to go just a nudge across. So at a 45-degree angle, I always refer to pointing your foot toward the wall and ceiling seam. That's usually roughly a 45-degree angle. So we're getting our IT band. Drawing the hip back toward the floor, but we're also softening the opposite hip. And we'll take the leg all the way across, let your hip come up off the floor. If you need to bend your knee, you can. If you need pillows, you can do this with pillows. However you need your support. Option to add cattail here. We can bend bottom leg and maybe catch in the opposite hand. Don't force it. If you start to come off the floor like this, you're kind of losing the purpose of the stretch. So, shoulders down. Just because it's offered doesn't mean you have to take it. We can apply that to pretty much anything in life. Carefully unwind. We'll come back. Hug that knee in. Half happy baby if that's preferred. And we'll extend arms and legs again. Switch. Knee to chest. If you have room for half happy baby, again, you can grab the foot. And extend free arm. Do that as well. Just find that length through arm and leg. And then we're going to take, let's not skip a step. Let's extend. I'm getting ahead of myself. That's true nature of me. So let's extend to the sky first. Maybe pull the toes back and get the lower leg. Get the hamstring. And again, we're not forcing it. So if you have to be at a slight angle or maybe just a softer knee, you don't have to lock the knee here. Take it out to the side. You can go kickstand. You can bend your knee if you want to do like a half cobbler or straight leg. You can also put your pillows underneath your legs if you're almost there but don't want to hold your leg up. Right to the inside of the leg. to our straight leg, and then we match across at a 45-degree angle. So toward the wall and ceiling seam. We're anchoring this hip down toward the floor. It's not quite, it might come up off a little bit, but not all the way. And then we gently guide the leg all the way across. Let your hip come up off the floor. Straight leg, knee bent, and then option to add cattail on this side if you want to. Catch your opposite foot into your hand. But don't force it. Again, if you're coming off the floor, just let it go. Everything takes time. Healing does not come in a rushed manner. And that can be part of our stretching routine or meditation, journaling. We can't treat it like a chore. We have to treat it like true nurturing, a gift. Carefully unwind, bring the knee back. Half happy baby if that's preferred. And we're going to bring both knees in. You get a little roll up again. And we're going to extend. So here's the peak pose. I invite you to do this in a playful way. So finding that joy rather than trying to fight through it or completely surrender. So if we overdo, whether we overarch or we slump, this, I call it capsizing the boat. So what we're going to do is roll to the side. And already here, it might take a little bit because you might feel like you're rocking on the boat. You have the option to prop your head in your hand if that's more comfortable. And being mindful that your free hand can be stabilizing here. And we take our top leg and we bring it in front of. And this might be a little bit of a teeter. We might start to rock side to side. And we're creating that length from elbow to heel or hand to heel. We're extending through the crown of the head, and then we lift up our leg to Vishnu's couch. Now, you can stay with hand on the floor. You could hold onto the back of your leg. So I think of a sailboat, because you could also grab your toes. But don't force it. If you feel like you have to contort and do this, we're missing the asana. So let go of needing to touch the toes. That's not really the point. We want our legs to have that right angle. Some of you might be a little bit closer. Some of you might be a little bit less. You can also keep kind of like a side tree. But it takes that challenge of surrender and effort. We have to stay in that strong center. We're stable on the side that's touching the earth. We're lengthening through the side that's extending upward. We're not overdoing it because I want to fall forward. We're not rounding, which would make me capsize back. We find the joy in the flow the balance of surrender and effort. And we'll let go. We'll roll to the back. We'll extend. And then we'll switch. We'll roll to the other side. You need to prop your head in your hand. Long legs. We're not overdoing. We're not overextending. Use your free hand to support yourself. And we bring the top leg up, forward. Get your balance, and then we'll extend. Ooh, crunchy on this side. You can grab the back of your leg or your foot. And we're finding that length through this side that's touching the floor. We don't want to put too much effort or control into this or too much surrender. And we'll release and roll to the back. Knees to chest. Happy baby if you wish. And then we're going to move back to the wall. Your legs at the wall. So, whatever's comfortable for you. If you need space, bring your arms overhead, maybe goal pose. You can bring your fingertips to touch. Take your heels wide, feet together, or cross. Just allowing that extending energy up through the feet, the grounding energy into the torso, the back body. Creating that calming, soothing energy. If you're feeling a bit overwhelmed, instead of having your arms out, you could bring your arms in and rest on heart and belly. Just riding that fullness of breath, riding the subtle undercurrent that is joy. Your breath can tell us if we're getting swept up in something that may not be true for us. It may feel very real. If we can stay in a calm, centered state, we can feel that undercurrent. We can come from a strong foundation and authenticity. Allow your exhale to create a sense of calm. stability, breathing in a sense of peace, joy, and light. Let's take a moment to be aware of the beautiful gifts your body brings to you rather than fixating on any one area that may feel limited or restricted. Let's take a moment to feel the subtle sensations. Maybe you're feeling sensation in your legs right now. The fact that you can feel those sensations is incredible. Some people don't have feeling in their legs. Acknowledging the gift of your feet, being able to walk. Again, if you have your legs and feet and they are mobile, having that gratitude and that joy of that gift. And the same with your arms and your hands, that gift of being able to hold and carry, to lift and to let down in a gentle way. The gift of your heart beating. Perhaps feeling that subtle pulse anywhere in the body. The vital breath that you breathe. It keeps you alive and moving. All of these are gifts that some of us have and some of us don't. And having that gratitude if you do have those gifts. And if we look at our injuries, our surgeries, our restrictions, we can look at those as gifts as well to remind us to slow down and take care. A lot of the times when we get sick or hurt, that's our body's way of saying it's time to slow down and listen to our needs. Slowly roll to the side. Let's journey back up to the way we began. Comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you. You need your pillow at your back or under your knees, wall supporting you. Just taking a moment to recenter, feeling supported here with the wall. It's almost as if we can meditate lying down. If we're just supported here. So hopefully by now we're in that centered state of breathing. It's full into the body, full out of the body. And the invitation in this practice is to set the intention to find the simple things that bring you joy. It cannot be bought. It's the subtle experiences, and we can feel that when we're in a centered state and we're not distracted by all the external noise, the external filters that tell us that joy is this or that, one specific thing. Setting the intention to be open to this simple joys as you move about your day or perhaps your week. Connect to the heart center. Honoring your space for allowing you the time to practice today. And honoring life's simple joys. Namaste. Thank you. Have a beautiful day, beautiful week, wherever you are, and many blessings to you. Namaste.